Good morning, guys. What is going on? It is another blessed and beautiful day to train hard, eat a lot of food, and get after it. We're getting pretty deep into the off season right now. We are on week 15, so to start off today, wanted to give you guys some updates. Everything is pretty much staying the same as it was last week. Went over my calorie intake, my carb intake, all of that kind of stuff, where my training's at. Still doing the 3 days on, 1 day off. Absolutely love it. Feel recovered and energized for each session. And honestly, some people start to feel sluggish in the off season. I really think it's just because of all the off plan meals that they have. I have not had one off plan meal this entire off season. We have stayed on point, and the physique is really showing that, staying tight. So, give you guys an update. Holding around 197 right now. So pretty much holding from last week, maybe up about a half a pound, which could just be a little bit of water, which is perfectly fine. It's right where we want to be. So my body likes to shoot up 3 or 4 pounds when we do a food increase and then hold. So right now we're just getting better at this body weight, and training performance is improving. That is always number one. Don't eat to your brain. Eat because your training performance says you need it. So, no need to change anything if we are progressing in the gym, feeling energized, feeling good. So, screw your feelings, man. Like, you got to stick to your plan. I don't care. Stay on point. So, I wanted to chat a little bit today. This is my logbook. So, been using this the entire off season. I wanted to give you guys some insight on how I use it. So, we're actually up to leg day A. This is going to be, I had to make a new page. Let me see how many times I've done the same workout. 7, 8, 9. This is going to be week 10, and I was doing it a couple weeks before that as well. It's probably like week 14, week 15, same as my off season. I just switched over to actually writing in a book, just like it better. Um, I was always very against writing in the gym until I realized that this helps me stay focused in my training. Don't have to pick up my phone to log my weights. So I absolutely love this. But as you guys see, this is week 10 now. So one thing I do, if you guys could see, is on the bottom, I'll take some notes on how each movement feels, if I need to change anything for the next week. And then another thing that I do, if you guys see in my logbook, you'll see all the dollar signs. So one of the things I always say is money. And if the weights felt really on point that week, they get a money sign. If they felt too heavy, I'll put an arrow down. If we need to go up, I'll put an arrow up. This way, when I look at it the next week, I'm like, oh, okay, like I know I should go up on this based off of how it felt last week. Because there's no way week to week you remember exactly how every movement felt. If you completed the exercise with standardized form, but should never be straying from your standards. But sometimes you try to take a big jump and it might have been too much. So then you know you got to pull back a little bit the next week. Another thing that I do is on the top, it gets dated and body weight gets put on there too. So I'm doing this workout every 8 days so I can see kind of my trend over those 8 days. Um, so I like to see that. Just helps me keep track of everything. I also have a spreadsheet on my phone where I do daily weigh-ins, so I can see everything on there. But you need to be recording your data if you really are going to take this serious. If you're not tracking and reassessing, you're just guessing. So I like to track everything, track how it feels, track how I felt that day. So each training day on my spreadsheet, I'll take notes of how I felt. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I like to record everything. This way I can go back at the end of the week, review how the week went, and see why I was feeling this way on certain days. Like, does something need to change? Just helps give you some insight. And even if you are working with a coach, it's great to give them that insight. They need the information. They're not in your body. Yes, they're writing your plan, they're looking at what you're sending them, but they also need to know how your sessions are feeling, not just, oh, okay, you hit a PR this week. Well, that's great, you hit a PR, but how'd you feel the rest of the workout? Did you feel like depleted the next day? Did you feel terrible the next day? Absolutely trashed. So you need to look at all of that kind of stuff in order to really get the most out of your training. Again, I want to take this to the pro level. So if you're looking to really take your training to the next level, make sure you're tracking everything. Um, Also, on top of just tracking logbook, all of that, another thing that's been on my mind lately is one of my biggest rules is protecting your own time, protecting your routine. So anyone who actually knows me knows I'm super routine. I do the same thing at the same time every single day, without question. Like, it's clockwork. A big reason I do that is, like, if you guys ever saw my Google Calendar, which keeps me, so I'm going to show you guys. This is what keeps me grounded, and I know everything that I need to do at every single day. So I'll zoom in on one of these days. So it'll show work block 1, meal 1, what I'm doing each hour of every day, so that I can focus just on that task, and that gives me peace. For some people, that would stress you out. For me, it gives me peace. So I know that what I'm supposed to be doing for that hour and a half, 2 hours, however long the block is, that's what I'm focusing on. Phone is down. I do not scroll on my phone. My average Instagram time, I think, is like 30 minutes a day. And that's pretty much solely just posting my content and posting on my story. Other than that, I don't sit there and doom scroll for the entire day. And having those focused blocks allows me to check out from everything else during the time that I need to focus on something. Whether it's I'm focusing on a work task for this hour, I can turn everything else off in my brain and just focus on that. Then when I get up to my training, it's like, okay, phone's away, phone stays in my bag. I'm just training, and that brings me so much peace to know that I checked all the boxes I needed to before, and I have my plan for after, and I'm good to go. So when it comes to especially bodybuilding, this sport, you have to be protective of your routine and obsess over it, because without that, you start letting meals slip, stop doing your steps, stop answering your own clients if you're a coach, like stop working as hard as you can with your job, like taking that to the next level. It just bleeds into everything in your life. So it's super important for you to check those boxes and clear the runway during different times of the day in order for you to really focus on what you're trying to focus on. So yeah, that's my TED Talk today. But today is an awesome training session. We got pendulum squat. This is my favorite day of training right now. Honestly, just because my legs have made a tremendous difference since I started in the last like 8 months or so. They have absolutely changed so much. So yeah, that's why legs have been my favorite thing to train, and this is my quad dominant day, so I can't wait to get after it. But I will take you guys with me. I want to put my whole workout up today and really explain what I'm doing. This way you guys can take something from that into your own training. So I'm not going to talk too much outside of that today. I really want it to be about the leg training. So I'll take you guys with me to the gym later on. Going to get pre-workout meal in soon, have my coffee, and then we're going to get after it. So I'll see you guys soon. Alrighty guys, it is gym time. Had a pre-workout meal about an hour ago. We're going to get after it. So it's legs. Like I said, I don't want to talk too much. I got my pump with me, Core Nutritionals, as always, code John10. We got the peach flavor today. That is an essential when you're training a squat day. So on the menu today, we got seated leg curls, pendulum squats, split squat, machine loaded, leg extension, and another lying hamstring curl. We'll also do some calves, maybe some adductor work, we'll see how we're feeling. And then I usually add on a little bit of forearms at the end just because I really want them to grow. It's not really in my plan, but I really want big forearms. So I've been adding those in like 4 or 5 days a week. So we'll see how the body's feeling by the time we get up to that. Yeah, so I want to keep this short today. Really just want to make this video focus on the training and really break down what I'm doing, what I'm feeling each set, mindset going into my sets. So we're going to smash our pendulum squat today. I really want to get up to 3 plates on the Panada one. That's not happening today, but for a set of 12 to 15. But in the near future, that is the goal. So I'm going to drink my pump, drive over to the gym, listen to some music, start to zone in, and we're going to get after it, guys. You have to clear your mind before you step foot in the gym. Nothing else matters for that hour and focus, train hard, and push yourself. That is what this is about. That is what we love about this sport. That is the reason I got into it. So I'll see you guys in the gym. All right, starting our session today, we got seated hamstring curls. Switched over to the Panada today just because someone was on the machine I usually use and it was taking forever, so I tried this one out. I actually wound up getting a way better hamstring connection. So what I'm doing with all of my hamstring movements is pausing the contraction to really feel my hamstrings working, and not just for the sake of pausing. I'm keeping that hard contraction all the way while I'm lowering the weight. And you'll also see that my legs don't go all the way straight, because the same way when you do a bicep curl, you want to keep the tension on the hamstrings. This is how you do that. When you do set it up, you want to make sure that your knees, your ankles, and your hips are all stacked in a straight line. That is the biggest game changer to making sure that you actually feel your hamstrings turning on. When you start to let your knees flare out, other muscles start to take over. Or if you let your knees flare in, other muscles take over. So keeping them stacked will allow you to generate the most force coming from your hamstrings. Like I always say, if you do not feel it, you need to fix it. So took this set pretty close to failure, as you guys can see, really grinded out that last rep. And also using the seat belt just to keep my hips locked down to the pad. Then we moved over to the Panada. This was a big personal best right here. Super happy with how this set went. And you guys are going to be able to see this. I'm glad that I filmed this one. So we went up by 10 total pounds, 5 on each side from last week. Much better control this week. Really, really slow on the way down. Felt it in the quads the entire time. No bouncing out of the hole. So the biggest thing I see people do with squats is they rebound out of the hole and use momentum. The hole is the bottom of the squat. If you're watching this, I assume you know that. But I do have to re-brace at the top a couple times during the set, so we'll work on cleaning that up a little bit. I'm not totally against that, but I like to keep tension in the target muscle. Yeah, so this machine particularly is super heavy in the mid-range, which is where your quads are going to be worked the most. So I really, really like the way this pendulum is. And if you've ever used it, it is way heavier than any other pendulum I've ever used. So just focused on keeping my knees pretty much straight, sitting into my quads, keeping my low back right against the pad the entire time. This way I'm not using anything but my quads. I could load way more weight on this and go up and down quickly and bounce the weight around, but I would not be using my quads to move that weight. It would be momentum, other muscles taking over, and I specifically want this to target my quads. I've been training this way for about 8 months now, and my legs have made a tremendous, tremendous improvement just controlling it. Then we moved on to our split squats. I like to do hip loaded split squats on a machine, overloading on my shoulders, just because I can load way more weight here. It's way more stable for me. When I load on my shoulders, I find that I'm really just trying to balance it, or if I use free weights, it just turns into a balance exercise for me. So this machine fits my body really well. You can see I really am able to get a deep stretch in my quad. And same thing, I'm just focusing on pushing my knee forward and driving my knee back. Nothing else is being used in this movement. Again, keeping this quad dominant. I do like to keep a single leg just because it helps with symmetry. So it'll make sure that you're using both legs the same. And it also allows you to generate more force, so you can use more load single leg versus bilaterally. Yes, I could put more plates on if I was doing 2 legs on this exercise, but it would be less weight per leg. So I'm actually using around the same weight I was using on the pendulum, granted different movement. The next exercise that we did, lying hamstring curl. Same thing here. You want to keep your hips, knees, feet stacked and keep your foot dorsiflexed. So drive your heels up to the ceiling at the top. Again, notice I'm not going all the way down, controlling the end ranges. So it's not just straight aggression as soon as I hit the stretch in my hamstring. I want to control it, feel the hamstring turn on, and then get aggressive. So you'll see the actual end range is controlled for a half a second, and then we turn it on, get a nice hard contraction. Keep that hard contraction all the way down into the stretch. So after this, we just did one set of machine RDLs, and we also hit calves and adductors. I did not film those. I didn't want to make this video too long for you guys, and I wanted to be really detailed on these 4 exercises that everyone's doing. Alrighty guys, so you guys saw the full leg session right there. I'm pretty wiped out. That was a great session. Super happy with the pendulum squat PR. Both technique wise, it looks really controlled watching it back, so really happy with that. And weight wise, that's a big PB all time. So hyped with that. Again, the goal is to get that to 3 plates by the end of this off season, and we're working there for 12 reps. But yeah, if you guys like this video, let me know what you guys want to hear more of. Like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to check out my sponsors, Core Nutritionals and Pride Foods. Wow, after a leg day, it is tough to even talk. That was nasty. That walk back to the car was woo. Much needed though. Get some blood back in those legs. But eat up, rest up, keep training hard. Let's do it together. See you guys next week.